certificate, although there's a huge sign there that says that they do not admit couples. I mean, they do not allow people of opposite sexes to sleep together unless.
Now, look, I was admitted. We went into the hotel at 3:30. And we took a bit of 30 minutes to just walk around and see how the hotel is and confirm, do you want to be checked in which room? We settled on room 402. And we went back to the reception. They didn't tell us that it is a requirement. And look, you don't want to assume that every client will see any signboard or any writings on the wall, because people write anything. Others will confess the faith they believe in. Others will make the Lord's Prayer. Others will pronounce the children's birthday or anything on the wall. So it was not a requirement until we were checked in and we paid and we left for Guka's place. We didn't know that this is going to be the case. Until now, we came back at 9:30 that we were told, look, we can't admit you. You need to tell us, are you married? We said, yes, we are married, and we've been married for over 7 years. And we have children, 2 children together. So the next thing was, please, can I see your ring? Does it have your husband or wife's name engraved on each other? The next thing, your marriage certificate is, your ID card is reading Catherine Waruguru, and my hubby's name is reading his 3 names. And I don't feel it's necessary that I need to change my last name to read my husband. So, and that was it.
Okay,
I think
did that make you feel awkward? I mean, here you are with your husband and somebody is doubting.
I feel the management of the hotel is trying to do work which they cannot do, because look, these are morals and you cannot police morals. You cannot be the enforcing authority. They have no moral question to ask anybody whether they are married or not married, as long as they are adults, because this country does not prohibit anybody from relating with any adult who is above 18 years. I didn't do this for myself. I can handle it. I can always, and actually we moved to another hotel. But I said we will not move to any other hotel until we ask the legality of this clause and this policy, which is reading that a man and woman cannot spend in the same room.
But you do understand that as a private hotel, they do reserve the right to admission.
Now, this is where we go wrong, and this is where I want Kenyans to understand this, that the management rights the right of admission is something which the majority of the hotels tend to misuse and try to contextualize it to fit into their rules, because this is for private clubs. And I would like you to look at the regulations which we have in Parliament as at now. It clearly states that you only need to produce an ID card, produce your physical address, produce your 3 names, and if you're a foreigner, you're only supposed to produce a passport. And it is on that background, I feel, no other woman, because we have so many ladies who are widowed, others are singles, others for various reasons, they would be together, whether cohabiting or married or dating or whatever. And I feel it is not up to the interest of the hotel or people in the hospitality industry to try to meddle or to interfere with the rights of freedom of Kenyans, because you have the right to associate.
Okay. Honorable Kate Waruguru, before we wind up on this, what do you intend to do moving forward?
I first would like to make this very clear, because I believe I have a legal background and a strong case against this hotel, as much as this is not a court of law. And I'd like to quote on the Hotel and Restaurant Act, Section 11, which states every holder of a hotel license shall keep a register in their hotel and shall enter into the register the name and the address of every guest who stays at the hotel. This means Section 14, the Hotels and Restaurants Regulation, says every register kept under Section 11 of the Act shall, in addition, consider the name, the address of the guest, and contain further particulars of every guest, which are hotel room number, nationalities, and in this case, non-residentials, they require Kenyan passport. And that's why I say the management, that tag management reserves the right of admission. That is for clubs and not for hotels and restaurants under this law.
But if they do have their rules and regulations, and they require you to follow those rules and regulations. Now, and if one of the regulations is that you produce a marriage certificate if you're coming in with a member of the opposite sex, then really, Mheshimiwa, all you have to do is just follow those rules. Let me make this
very clear, Mike Gitonga. I didn't work with an identified male adult. I didn't just work with any man. I worked with my husband.
And,
And
that is not in contention.
Everybody in the society in Laikipia, people who know me and voted for me, they know the man behind.
But the hotel does not know that is.
Let me make that clear. And that's why I'm saying very clearly that the hotel, they do not know all Kenyans, and they do not need to know me. But they do not need to violate the rights of every Kenyan in the constitution. There is no policy, and there's nothing like you'd call like rule and regulation in any given hotel in this country which is senior and above the Kenyan constitution. Nobody should discriminate you on your gender, on your religion, on your marital status, or anything, whether they're single or they're widowed and they have somebody who they feel like they need to get a bit of their time with. That's their business. And nobody should take the role of God. And also being a born-again Christian, nobody should take the role of the Holy Spirit. It is not your work. Okay. Any moment you open your business premises to the public, no matter who comes in, you cannot deny them an entry to their hotel on basis of you're not married, you're single, you're sick, and you're not. And in this case, I'm very married because the Constitution acknowledges me as somebody who is married.
And for the records purposes, it was your husband that you were with?
For record purposes, for those who love me, those who like me, those who hate me, I was with only one man by the name of Kericho.
All right, and well, let's put that matter to rest. But still on the same angle, there are those who feel, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, you're proudly a second wife, which of course is not conventional. It's something that, you know, Kenyans feel a bit uneasy about. Tell me a little bit about that.
I have nothing to say, Mike Gitonga, because I have freedom of association. I choose what is right for me. I do not need to conform to what the public, and per se, you know, majority of the people who keep talking and talking to you are faceless. Nobody will come one-on-one. Like, I would challenge my good friends. Most of them I know, they are married and they have their legal wife or the marital wife or husband. But wako na mpango zao. You'll always realize I'm better off if I know this is the man I believe in and I want to be with. I move on. I would like anybody to challenge me and tell me whether if I'm casted to go to hell because I'm married as a second wife, whether then Abraham, the father of faith and father of all Christians, and also who is the greatest descendants of Jesus Christ, will also go to heaven. So I'm only saying this. Allow me to be grilled and asked questions by God, and let nobody police morals. Let nobody pray the Lord of the Holy Spirit. And God is not like men, the way they behave. I love my husband. I don't need to kutanga-tanga. I don't need to be here and there because I fear being told this. And I would encourage majority of Kenyan women who are single and they found a man who they think can be a good friend and a husband moving forward, and they love their children. We do not need to raise our children as single mothers, and especially our boys, who I passionately feel for the boy child. We need to look not only through marriage, but we need to take this conversation further, that our children, whether boys or girls, they need people they would look up onto as fathers, and if there are no fathers, then we need to go further to see whether we can get uncles and mentors which can pick on
And the advice you're giving to the girls
children.
is that if they find a man, even if it's somebody else's husband, well, that can be arranged.
Now look, somebody else's husband is their husband within the confines of their home. The moment you left your home, Mike Gitonga, you're here as a servant who is serving KTN. You're here because you're serving Kenyans. When you're out, muzeni wako kwa boma, akishatoka, you take care of yourself and you choose what you want. And the Constitution allows even President Uhuru Kenyatta give a sign and extended the bill and saying the marriage bill. What is wrong? Our brothers and sisters in Muslim community, they marry 2, 3, 4 wives. I am a Kikuyu. In a Kikuyu culture, you are free to marry the second wife if you want. So in this case, Mike Gitonga, if you feel you have the energy, you have what it takes to take care of an extra woman, please go ahead, marry them. We need you to take care of our boys.
I am just glad Joyce is not watching this show right now.
All right.